and at the moment of building the kernel, and I just gave it all the defaults, let it look how many changes from 2.6 dot whatever, let it build. It builds quite a lot of things. It's not like our mini Linux distribution. When I see DLD, I know that it's going to work on the loadable kernel modules, which I will later install with make modules install. So here I have install. This is actually because of me, and I'm looking for the command line here. Yeah, so there it is, make modules install. After that, I made make install. Alright, so now that I have like this kernel, what I want to show is how to actually go ahead and debug it. In this case, I will not even bother to configure the baud rates, and I will show both in this computer, the host, and in this computer, the target, what happens when I use the default that happen to be a baud rate of 9600. That's going to be much slower. Between the previous video and now I had sort of a power outage, and I just recorded, and I'm just want to get it over with. Okay, so let's see this in action. So now I'm actually doing as before. This time look at the command line. I proved here that before I do anything, then the KGDB over console parameter is empty. I can actually give KGDB over console dot KGDB over console equals to whatever I'm going to put here in KGDB awk parameters KGDB awk, and then I can enable it like when I actually boot. So I'm going to now echo G into it, and we'll see that we have the KGDB console. But in this case, something is wrong with the baud rate, perhaps. Okay, so I see terminal ready. So let's have a look. So this one can be very sensitive, because if you open terminal emulator or debugger that changes the setting, then you might not have things working. So what I'm going to do now is set the parameters again. In my host, I previously opened GDB connecting to KGDB over the serial, so the parameters might not work correctly, but let's have a look, okay? So here I have my terminal, the host, ready, waiting. And here what I did is that I checked what are the parameters of the FTTY 0. I echoed the serial terminal into the KGDB over console parameters and KGDB over console. I could do the same thing by providing KGDB awk.KGDB awk equals the parameter that I give, like TTY 0 and baud rate, like we saw when we booted the kernel and saw the console via serial. We could give the same parameters, and then KDB would work from the beginning. And I trigger KDB by echoing G. So now terminal is okay, and I can see where I am. So if we do like BT, now it's much slower because the baud rate is slower. Okay. Now I'm going to put a breakpoint, for example, in do fork. And the other thing I'm going to do is, let's do something interesting. BP at some file system function, let's say ifs remove dir. Now I'm going to do go, and it entered KDB. Let's do backtrace. Somebody has been cloning, so we're in the good place, okay? Now I'm going to do go and get back to my shell, okay? Now, let's make directory. Now I did tab. So the moment I did tab, something forked, but some other process could have forked as well. I'm not interested in it, okay? I'm going to just go. I don't want to stop here. So I'm going to make directory, let's say YYY. And now I'm here, Let's see where exactly. Backtrace. We see that we're in the clone. I'm going to do go. And let's see what happens when I delete the directory. So I'm going to do rm dir y. Now I'm in the breakpoint again. Now I'm expecting it to first stop on the fork actually. So that's what happens on the sysclone. Let's do go and let's see what happens. And voila, we're in do rmdir. Okay? So I can do all kind of things, nice things like with KDB, with the KGDB. I'll show KGDB next because it takes a lot of time to upload these videos. And let's just show you one little thing of memory displaying. So I'm going to do, for example, memory display and something you can do like KDB. I like KDB when it's usable. Like it helps to do forensics and see some things very, very nicely. So let's check something that should be familiar for you. Print K. Let's give it tab. And there's going to be buff. So we're going to look at the buff. Okay? You can see it now, but there is. Oh, I had a typo. It's hard to not see the screen, to hold this and to type with one hand. So you see, we can see like all kind of things here. And it looks like actually text that is extracted from the memory, right? Like something you see like in the log. So KDB can be very, very, very useful. So now I'm going to move the mode to KGDB and finish the video.